Good evening, y'all. How you doing? Happy Friday evening. I am Shellie B, and these are the adventures of a Black conservative sister surviving in a hot mess world. And tonight, I would like to talk about women that regret not having children because last live we spoke about women that regret their children. So it's only fair to talk about women that regret not having children. But before we get into all of that, can you please like, share, and subscribe to this channel? You know how it goes. It helps the algorithm and whatnot. Just like it. Go to my YouTube and look at the other lives that are there. I also have Rumble. I'm also using Rumble, Facebook, and YouTube. So please go to any of those and like it. I prefer if you go to YouTube and like it. I have lots of content on there that you guys can see that I've posted up there for many, many years, over a decade of videos and such up there. So you can follow me on this journey and, see me. So that being said, I got on here very late today because I literally slept all day. I slept till like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The sun was shining in my window, and I just kind of laid there, and it was warm and lovely. And I procrastinated my whole day away. So this is why I'm on here so late. I definitely do feel that I'm a night owl. So I'm up all night and then I sleep in the daytime. And then when I'm working, I'm just tired. you know. So anyway, let's get into this because as always, it's a lot to unpack when it comes to these topics here. But it was really kind of disturbing to me about how many women, really regret their kids and they're very miserable with their kids and with their choice to have kids. And I didn't feel that way. And like I said, I felt it was only fair to, to go down the rabbit hole of like women that regret, because I know that it's a problem because so many women, they wait late in life to have children and they become infertile. They have all kinds of issues. A lot of women are choosing not to marry, or they're marrying much later in life because they want to have their career and what have you. In my personal opinion, I just feel that is a lot of the reason why there's so many infertility problems, because women are waiting so late. There's this study, let me see if I can share this real quick. Because I read a lot of stuff about this, and it seems like a lot of women are having these infertility problems because they're waiting so late in life to have children. I am definitely a person that does not feel that, teens and 20s is a good age to have a child. I just feel you're very immature and you should live a little and, learn how to be a woman and learn more about child rearing and just have some life experience before you have children. I just disagree with that. But I would say between 25 and 30, would be a good time. I actually had my child at 40. A lot of women do that. I had my child naturally without anything. It was completely by chance and whatnot. But they do claim that, your chances go down a lot, and I was a person that really believed what they said about that. And it just turned out for me that I had a child at 40 years old with nothing. And like, I had 2 pregnancies. The first pregnancy was a bladed ovum. I don't know if anybody knows what that is, but that's when your body kind of creates a womb, but there's no baby in there. So maybe at some point it was, and it wasn't viable or whatever. They really couldn't explain it to me. And then literally like the next cycle, I became pregnant because I really believed what they told me about not being able to have a baby at that age. And they say that that by the time you get 30, okay, by the time when you're born, you have like millions of eggs or something like that. But by the time you get to like 30, you have like 98% of your eggs. That's why I say like 30 is a good time, because you're a little bit more mature. If you went to college straight out of high school, you might be able to get that degree and start your family around 25, 30ish realm because you still have a good percentage of your eggs. By the time you're 40, they say you have like 3% of your eggs left. However, that 3% is like 18,000 eggs. So you still, you still have a chance. And I just feel that what is for you will be for you. Like in my case, I had a child at 40 with nothing. You know what I mean? And I also feel like how you feel about a situation helps manifest it coming out positive or negatively. You know what I mean? I feel like when you obsess over something, you're putting yourself still in a negative space, even though you might be thinking positively about something like you want this baby, you want this baby, you want to have this child, you want to have this husband. It still is a negative space because you're I don't know how to express what I'm thinking, but I just feel that it's a negative space because you're constantly focusing on something that you don't have. And then that creates a depressive state. And that is just not a good frequency to be on. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, like I always say, like if you raise your frequency a lot of the times, that also helps everything line up the way you want it to by not focusing on what you don't have but focusing on what you do have, blah 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 blah. um and then when you get in menopause, you have 0 to 1,000 eggs. You understand? So this is why a 70 something year old woman can have a baby still. Women in their 50s and whatnot have natural children and stuff like that. That's why I say if it's meant for you, it is meant for you. And I'll talk later at the end more about like how to cope if you don't have children, because sometimes if you have that love in your heart, there's a lot of other things you can do aside from adopting and the things, the usual. There's a lot of other things you could do, but we'll touch on that a little bit later. But let me share my screen for this because I want to show you this. Let's see. I'm very slow with this, but thank you for being with me. Okay, so this article right here it's a it's Pew Research Center, and I like them because they do a lot of research studies and stuff like that, and they're pretty reputable. This is from 2018, and I thought this was interesting because they're saying that more women are having children than ever before, which, not ever before, but in a long time. I'll leave this article so you can read it because they talk about a lot, but I'm gonna try to summarize. But they saying that more women are opting to have babies now than they did, I guess like in the 90s or something like that. You can read the article. Yeah, it was in the 90s. And for whatever reason now, I guess women are kind of like falling out of the idea of feminism and like, I want to work and I want to do everything for myself and I don't need a man and all. Women, that's going away, it seems like today. Women are starting to think more about having children and like being in their womanly place in the home and stuff like that. And it's changing and more women are having children. And they have graphs in here that explain about the downturn and the uptick and all that. And a lot of and we all can remember this because remember when it was like a period where it was a lot of teen moms. Like I guess that probably was in the 90s. That's probably why the number went up so much. But there was a lot of teenage pregnancies and stuff like that. So that kind of died off. Like all of those people that did that raised their kids, and their kids probably said, "Oh, hell to the no, I don't want to be like my mom or whatever." And that kind of, wore off. And like now, women are getting their degrees and still going on to have kids, where in the past, women that had degrees probably wouldn't have kids because they're all into doing their career or whatever the case may be or whatever. So I just thought that was kind of interesting to see, and it's very detailed study and it goes into a lot of like different scenarios and stuff like that. And they were saying that like half of women that have kids today, half of women today that haven't been married have kids. So women are having kids just without being married, like myself, because once you get to that stage late in life, I think a lot of women decide, well, let me just have this baby, and I have a career and I have money, I take care of my own baby or whatever. I don't have the man. I'll just do it. That motherly instinct or whatever, it kicks in, and they just do it on their own. So I thought that was kind of fascinating that, all this is kind of turning around as far as women, wanting to have kids. So I just thought it was like a direct contradiction of, them saying how many women hate having kids, and then the whole movement of women that never want to have kids. And, it just seems like, I feel like a lot of it sometimes too is propaganda, because I definitely do know that the ruling class feels like there's too many people, and they're always trying to find a way to curb the population, be it with abortion, birth control. They really promote all of that. Feminism, promotes you work and don't have kids. Your career is more important than kids. So you're constantly bombarded with things that kind of talk you out of, having your family and having your kids. I was a person that always did want to have that, but I just never met anybody that I trusted enough to let them lead me and my child anywhere. Like, I just never met anybody like that. Unfortunately, I just never met anybody like that. I would have loved to meet somebody like that, but like most of the men that I knew, I just didn't trust them because I saw that they weren't together. Like, and I can understand why a lot of women don't want to have kids, with, and they're very particular because, it is very difficult taking care of a child. And there is a period where I was at home and I couldn't work and stuff like that. And, by the grace of God, I got through that period of that, like that first year when you're like still healing and the baby is small and stuff like that. I mean, I actually went back to work at 6 weeks. Would I have loved to be a stay-at-home mom? Yes, I would have, but it just wasn't like that for me. You know what I'm saying? So, I can get it. But this was very interesting. And I would say, like, don't be discouraged as far as thinking about, hi Wakanda food truck. I don't know what you're saying. Hello, how are you? Thanks for being with me. So let me close this out. So I just, women that do want kids and they're late in life, like, I really feel like don't be discouraged. And there's a lot of women out there that want to have kids, they want to have families, and it's like really unfortunate that that they're promoting, that it's not a good thing to have kids, or that you get into a certain point where you're too old to have kids. Like, it's always a chance that it can happen for you, because you still have, like I said, the 18,000x. You know what I'm saying? The odds, they try to give you these low number odds. But when I was pregnant with my son, they told me my son was going to have Down syndrome. They tried to make me all distraught. Of course, the doctors trying to, hi, Wakanda food truck. You said once you bring children into this sick country is selfish at this point. Well, that's your opinion. I disagree. I believe that maybe your child will be the person to, change it. Maybe your child will be the person to grow up and, broker world peace. Who knows? I feel like if you're going to start out with that negative attitude, then you probably shouldn't have kids. And I would definitely agree, if you feel that way, to not do it. And I feel like it's selfish not to have children, because there's souls. How many sperm does a man have? There's a billion or whatever souls that want to come into this realm. So I feel like it's selfish to not bring one into the realm. That's just how I feel. That's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, keep on moving. What other notes did I have on here before I start showing y'all these videos? Some notes I had out of the article is I think I said that already. Oh, what was important too that I found interesting, that women that were educated were more likely to not have the kids. Women that went to college and stuff like that were more likely to not ever have kids, or to wait really long. My career really wasn't, and it doesn't really stop me from being a mom, because I for a long time, for almost, I say a good 10, 15 years, I worked from home as a hairdresser. So I could have totally raised my kids during that time. In the hair salon, it was always kids there. Girls bring their kids to work with them. Whatever, like it's definitely a relaxed atmosphere to, raise your kids. So, but it just didn't happen for me at that time, but I totally could have done it when I was much younger. I don't really think when I was 25 I would have been ready, but maybe like 30. I feel like 30 is a good age. And like they said, at 30, you still have like 98% of your eggs, but it's just interesting how fast they dwindle down after that. You know what I'm saying? So I would think like you're at a good level of maturity and you kind of can have your cake and eat it too as far as your career and whatnot. So let's start looking at some of these videos because what people are saying, you know, and I always try to watch the videos that the men on a male podcast because I feel like women are so delusional about what men want. You know what I mean? So a lot of women will never get married because I just feel like they're like super delusional about the reality of life and women, and I feel like the feminist movement really did this to women is make women think that they're men or manly or can do things that men do, and they think that they can think like a man, but they just don't. And when you listen to what men say, it's completely opposite of what women think they want. So let me cue this up because I think it's not in the right spot. I'm on it. Okay. Oh yeah, it was. Hold on one second, y'all. All right, let me present my screen. Hold on, y'all. Okay, this is a trip. This lady was a feminist and she changed her mind completely. And now she's on the other side of it saying it was a scam.
Require men for the seed of life, but it is the female body that actually generates the human being. So men provide to the process of creating humans, but women are actually the ones who will grow and create a human being. Now, that's something incredible. I got to be honest. I believe there are very few feats a man could accomplish that could ever amount to the creation of another human life. I'll tell you why. You may be a strong, strapping young man. You may be the best in your industry. But what? You scored more points in a basketball game. You broke a record. You swam further. You built a machine. Those are all really great. But guess what? You are simply the vehicle by which that thing was created. And you were created by your mother and your father and built within the body of your mother. This is why, as legend tells it, I believe this is true.
Now, I've watched so many videos by men about stuff like this because I don't feel like you're going to get a good perspective from women, especially when you're listening to these woke women and, I don't need a man. I can do everything myself and we don't need a man. And, you're not going to get a real perspective. If you're trying to get a man and you're trying to have kids with a man and you're not trying to, be a man, then you should listen to men, what they're saying, what they want.
Sparta, the only way to get a tombstone as a man was to die in battle. And the only way to get a tombstone as a woman was to die in childbirth.
So he's talking about this in Sparta that the only way you get a tombstone is if you die in war or if a woman dies in childbirth, because they were equally as important. So I feel like bringing souls into this realm is an important thing. It's just until I did it, I did not realize how important it was and how amazing of a thing it was to see your body go through that. And I feel like people would enjoy it more if they had more discernment about who they have their kids with and when they have their kids, because I feel like the reason why it's so difficult for a lot of people is because they're just doing things out of the things are not properly timed right, or you choose a messed up person to do it with. But I like what this guy's going to say, because it's just the truth of what men think and the truth of what this shit is. I'm sorry.
They viewed the man fighting to defend the village equally with the woman creating the life to sustain the society itself. But now we have many women being told you can be the same thing as the guy. Let's play the game.
And to me, I'm just one of those women. I don't want to be a fucking man. Like, I don't understand this. And I'm glad it's changing. That study's saying that women are waking up and women don't want to be like men and women don't want to work and stuff. But now it's like they ruined the men by being so masculine and being so hard on the men. It's like the men don't want your ass either. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like the men are very girly today and all super confused and don't really like women. And then the rest go overseas and get women that are not Western, because Western women just have this delusional attitude about womanhood.
38-year-old single woman wants to have a kid. Okay, well, you're running out of time. You're getting old. And I don't mean that as an insult. Doctors will tell you this. I think they say...
Doctors do tell you this, but there are always exceptions to the rule, you know. Again, you still gonna have the 18,000 eggs. So, you know, and you know what my doctor told me to? And so when she told me this, I made sure to never do this shit because I ain't want to get pregnant in them time. But she said if you have sex every day for your cycle, you'll meet the egg. At least every day or every other day. So if you want to get pregnant, just have sex every day. And 9 times out of 10, you probably will meet it. So it's something to think about.
Women should be having, like, the peak period is like early 20s, 24 maybe, 38. You can probably have a kid. It'll be a lot more difficult. You may have to use IVF, in vitro fertilization. Is it? Yeah, IVF. And it gets more difficult. But let's play this game. A man and a woman, 24 years old, both do want kids. The man says, I'm ready to have a kid now.
And you know what's fascinating to me? That's why sometimes I'll be thinking they lying. Because the pharmaceutical companies, they make so much money. They don't really, not that many people get in vitro and all of that because it's really expensive and it doesn't always work and stuff like that. But the meds, there's a lot of medications that they get when they scare the women into thinking, oh, you can't get pregnant or whatever. And then, you know, you're on this course of meds for years or whatever. You see what I'm saying? So I always, especially since COVID, I just don't trust anything the medical community has to say because everything that they do is full of bullshit and propaganda and there to make you, you know, there to make them money. They don't make any money unless you have a problem. They're not going to say, oh, have sex every day, you'll get pregnant. Just have sex every single day or every other day and you'll meet the egg in that cycle. You have almost no choice. And then when you have sex, don't get up right away. Keep your egg legs elevated, all that stuff. Have sex every day for the whole cycle and see what happens. You understand? Then if that don't work, you know, check your partner. Sometimes it don't even be the women, it'd be the men and their low sperm counts and all that. So the two things together, you know what I'm saying? Maybe there might be stuff to do to help his sperm be a little bit stronger too. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff you can do. Like, don't just believe what the medical community tells you. I don't trust them anymore.
I mean, I got a stable job. I'm making a decent salary. I can definitely support getting a small place and renting in the suburbs and having a wife and a kid. Wife wouldn't need to do all that much. Maybe she can do some odd income generation online or something. But for the most part, could probably stay home. And so he meets a young woman and she says,
oh boy, there's somebody in the comments being stupid. Okay. Wakanda food truck. Okay. First of all, he's saying don't listen to pale beings. Okay, he's still a man, and you're gonna, if you watch the whole thing, you will see that I get the opinion of all people because I'm not just talking to Black people, I'm talking to everybody. And you said a talentless, weak beta male pale being. Talk to you later, dear. Goodbye. Have a nice life. Wakanda food truck. I'll make sure I block you too. I don't even know this person. Anyway. These are the trolls and haters that you get when you're doing streaming. You know, he's being a hater, and he said he wouldn't have no kids because the world is so messed up, but because of people like him is the reason. And you don't have to worry about talking to me later. Have a nice life.
Yes, absolutely have a kid. And they get together, have a kid. Now the dude's 25, 26. He's making a little bit more money. He's well on his way. Mom is staying home, taking care of the kids. Dad comes home. They have food together.
And furthermore, what I would like to tell Wakanda food truck too is that Black people abort their babies at such a high rate. Black people, the leading cause of death for Black people is abortion. So for me to sit here and tell more Black people to have babies, why would that be a problem? You're the devil. You have a nice day.
He pays the bills. He does the work. She raises the kid. They say, hey, you know, I'm making some more money. Why don't we have another kid? Now he's 28 or whatever. He's got 2 kids. He keeps working his job. He keeps growing up.
Okay, I'm gonna
Let's
skip
talk
this
about
a
the
little
woman.
bit. I
24
actually
years
like
old.
this.
She
I
says,
actually liked
I
what he
also,
was saying a lot because I feel like he just like a lot of men. He had a lot of respect for women that are mothers and have babies because men can't do that. And in the event, you know, in the fact that women are trying to be men is the reason why they don't have babies because men don't have babies. You know what I'm saying? Is in more words than one is what he's saying. So if you trying to be a feminist and do what men do, men don't have babies. They contribute to babies, but they don't have babies. So that's where the problem is
is
starting
for
to
the
come
long
out, and it made sense. Commercials because you know why? Because I refuse to
time
pay
pushed by
YouTube the money they
feminism
want to be commercial free. The nerve of these people, it's like I can't with them.
that equality, men and women are the same. You can have it all. It's a lie. You can be the strongest of the strong, but I think very few men are going to be able to actually have, quote unquote, it all. But let's talk about what it means for a man to have it all. To have a family, to have a job, sure. But men don't create life. Women do. The problem is the comparison between what a woman can do and what a man can do. A man being the CEO of a company is, in my opinion.
Now, this is a trip, and I'm telling you, men say this all the time. All the time. Whenever I watch stuff like this, all the time, they speak to guys that have a lot of money, stuff like that. They say this all the time.
A man being successful in business is equal to giving birth to a human being. Men cannot create human.
The reason why men feel like this is because instinctively they are the providers. So for them to grind and work hard and you know get to the top and make the most money and stuff like that, so he can provide, be a provider. That is important for a man. It's not important to a man for a woman to do that. That's why a lot of women are always confused why a man wants a woman that is not this, you know, what do they call it? You know, this independent woman, because that's not what they're looking for. That's not important to them. What's important is that they are the independent person
in life, but they can create systems which will contribute to the betterment of society and human life and their families. Now, men can't gestate bodies, but they do contribute. And this is the point. I look at it this way. The amount that a man contributes to the creation of life is comparable to the amount a woman contributes to business and industry. You see what I mean? I'm not saying it's absolutely, you know.
I agree with this, and I kind of understand what he's saying. The man is going because being a mother is not easy. It's not an easy job. All these young girls talking about they want to be married and be stay-at-home moms because they think they're going to sit around all day and bullshit all day. No, it's a job. You know, it's getting up with your kids, feeding them, teaching them. You know, if I was a stay-at-home mom and I didn't work, I would homeschool my son as far as I could get him, you know, on my own, because the schools are horrendous. I don't care what kind of school it is. All the schools are woke and full of foolishness. And I wish my child didn't have to go to school, but I don't have it like that to just stay home and hire the people that I need for him. You know, I definitely would have to hire a teacher for math because I'm terrible at that. But I do feel like I could do pretty good with everything else. And I do teach him a lot at home, you know, but I would love to be at home with my child all the time. You know, I just feel like the only reason why women don't want to be home with their damn kids is because they working. They're working, they're tired, is exhausted and all that. You chose the wrong person to be with, or you had your kids too early. That's the only two reasons why you being a mother is such a nightmare. You know, I don't get it.
No, one for one, there's a mathematics behind it. Women tend not to be CEOs. They tend not to break physical records. They tend to have less, like as I mentioned, bone density, muscle mass, etc. They're not going to run as fast or jump as far.
Word. That's why men are supposed to work hard. That's why men have construction jobs and all this hard shit. I don't want to do that. They were asking this girl, you know, would she take a job working in the sewers? He's like, yeah, I would. And the guy was like, well, most women said they wouldn't. Well, I don't care what they say. I wouldn't do it. Let me tell you something. I'm not working in nobody's sewer. I'm not doing no hard ass labor work and shit like that. What for? That's when there's a man to do it. I don't have no desire to do man shit. I just don't.
Men are going to contribute to the creation of life, but they're not going to create life. It's like an 80-20 thing. Women do less in terms of external work, but they create life. Men do more in terms of external work, but contribute a decent amount to the creation of life. The seed, as it were, but not the creation of it. For too long, I think we have, as a society, been insulting to women and downplaying the great things that they are capable of doing as.
Thank you, because having a job is not the greatest thing I could do. The greatest thing I could do is grow a human and not die from it. The greatest thing you could do is, teach your children. The greatest thing you could do is bring a spirit into this realm. I personally feel that the reason why you are given the gift of life is to help a soul get on the God frequency. That's how I feel. That you bring this being in and you lead it to divinity. That's what I believe. And our friend here that says that, why would you bring a child into the world that's so bad? But this is what I'm saying. This realm that we are in is 50% good and 50% evil. That is facts. But a person like our friend on the Wakanda food truck here, that is a negative frequency that he's on. He's a low vibrational type of person. So that's why he sees the world as mostly negative. I see the good, and I see the opportunities of life. You know what I mean? Somebody like that has no hope, that's clearly in a low frequency state, would feel like that. When you feel, if you know the world is 50% good and 50% evil, and you're only seeing the negative part of it, then you are in a low frequency. Because if the world is 50% good too, and you're always on the negative side of shit, you're on a low frequency. And you're right. You shouldn't have no children.
It's inherent to them. Maybe that's it. For whatever reason, society has said, no, you have to be skilled and really, really good at something, instead of just saying you're naturally talented. I'll look at it this way. If you're if you're like over 7 feet tall, you have a 17% chance of playing in the NBA. He goes into
talking about more stuff, but let me just get to the bottom of this, because
is what it is.
I like what he said.
I'll wrap with this because I don't want to rant on this one. This woman is amazing. I have tremendous respect for her. She was saying that when she put this article out, she started getting attacked by people who called her stupid and selfish and awful names. And that is
that's what woke people do. That's what liberals do. That's liberal mentality. You don't even have to tell me who it is just by the behavior. They were all gung-ho for her when she was like, I don't need a man, I'm a man, I want to do man shit. They were all for her then. But when the reality of her life and her opinion was that she regrets that lifestyle, she regrets that narrative, and that she wished she didn't listen to that shit, and she wished that she would have did things different so she could have had her family, everybody attacked her.
The stupidest thing you could ever hear. This is a woman who, she says she doesn't want to put it all on feminism because she made her own choices. I respect that tremendously. But I also want to defend her a little bit and be like, dude, you were lied to and tricked. How were you supposed to know? You were a young person. You were supposed to have guidance from your elders.
Exactly. That's the problem. Why so many people don't like having children is because they didn't have any guidance. They didn't have anybody to tell them, no, don't have a baby as a teenager. No, maybe you should get an education so you'll get that feeling out your system that you missed out. Go have fun, for a couple of years, and then have your kids and settle down and keep your ass at home and take care of your kids. Get an education so you can educate your damn kids. How about that? You know what I mean? So you're not a complete idiot and you have no life experience. So you have some type of foundation to teach your kids. And other, I just don't see why anybody want to have a child so early these days. Back in early times, you had more support of your family and stuff like that. Today is just a different world completely. So I understand why women want to wait later, but I just disagree completely with having kids when you're a teenager in your 20s.
And she said, I'd go back to those women and ask them, what did you mean by this? She was tricked. And now she is acting as an elder who's experienced and giving that warning, saying, hey, this is what I experienced.
That shit is true. As you get older, you change your mind. You get discernment. You have wisdom. And people get attacked for that. I see these videos all the time. Women from all over the world, either they regret having kids or they regret that they didn't have kids. And the only reason, the ones that regret having their kids, the only reason why they regret having their kids is the conditions of which they had the kids under, be it that they chose the wrong husband, or they had their kids too early, or they didn't feel like they lived their life. They felt like they were missing something. Maybe they didn't get their education, or maybe they didn't, get out there and get to have a little bit of fun first and travel and enjoy their life before they had kids. They feel like they're longing. You know what I mean? So those are the only reasons why.
Now, her life isn't for everybody, but it's important that message is out there. She was tricked. She made mistakes. And she's correcting them by passing on knowledge and experience to a younger generation that may help them.
So, that's going to be that for that. But, so yeah, I definitely agree that, as you get older, you have discernment. And, if you feel that you could stop somebody from making a mistake, that's your duty to try to stop them from making a mistake. So let's check this out right here, because this is a trip. There's women everywhere, all over the world, that really feel like, they made a mistake, and like, they are not happy doing man shit. They ain't happy doing man shit. I know I'm not trying to do man shit. I never was, and I never will.
Where have all the good men gone? Well, a lot of them are married. Some of them are no longer with us. And a lot of them,
They said they did.
they kind of just are sick of the fucking double standards that women are putting out there every day. And so
It's really true. They want to be men, but then they want to be a man and do man stuff. And then they're super masculine, but then they want a man to treat them like a woman sometimes.
they're just staying to themselves. They're towing their line. They're not giving women a chance because we are not worth the risk when we don't hold ourselves to the same standards that men are held to.
A lot of women these days don't like being held accountable for their actions, and they only want equality when it suits them. That's why a lot of men are afraid to date women who are not traditional. They want traditional husbands, but they don't want to be traditional wives.
Don't tell him because he doesn't know when to clean and rub your feet that he's not a man. That's just silly. He's a man because he comes home. He's a man when he protects his family. He's a man when he takes responsibility for what goes on about other people's lives. That's what being a man is. You want all these little, trinkets and whatnot. That's not what manhood is. It's about the basics. It's about the solid, down-home things that you have to do. And he's showing up in here, all man. Oh, man. Don't be so afraid that
And this is so true. Women are so masculine and so manly today. It's like they want men to do women shit. And I feel like a lot of the men are very girly too, because maybe they were raised that way or whatever. I feel like they're very weak. They're not leaders. They're just girly to me, a lot of them. But she was mad because her husband don't massage her feet when she come home from working on that. No, like, you're supposed to do that for him. Like, if he's working and providing all this stuff for you, then maybe you should massage him when he comes home. Like, that is just crazy to me. Like, and it seems like common sense, but a lot of women don't know that.
you dart this guy away. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes, ma'am. Ain't nothing you upset about that serious. Nothing.
From what I see in this clip, women like this will start complaining about some little things, like they just said.
Notice all these videos are from male podcasts because their opinion is what women need to hear. They're so busy listening to rappers, you don't need a man and I'm independent and I got my own bag and all that, instead of listening to the actual men you're trying to get the realistic reality of the situation of what they're saying and what they like and don't like about women.
Are just delusional. A man who provides and protects his family is a good man. Women who like to throw this extra stuff are just depreciative. They don't see the things that men do for them to keep the household stable.
When I was younger,
We're gonna break it down for her right now.
And my husband would come home and I would just carpet bomb him with complaints. Just carpet bomb him. Everything, you know what I mean? And one day my mother said, one day he's gonna stop coming home because that door is an entry to hell for him. What you doing?
Well, I'm showing you all of this because a lot of the reason why women, a lot of the times, and I feel like I'm guilty too. Like I feel like a lot of the times women don't get the man they want because you might meet a good guy and then you nag him half to death. I stopped nagging because I was with a guy that nagged like a bitch. I never seen a man nag. That's why I said a lot of the men are girly, and he nagged me so much. Was always accusing me of cheating and nagging me and where you at, come and go. Like he just got on my fucking nerves, and I was like, I will never ever be a nag to a man because that shit was so annoying. I don't see how guys deal with that. Like the women, how they constantly like, where you going? Where you been at? Who's that? Who you with? Call, just it's annoying. Like it's very annoying. And like I said, being that, I had that experience with this girly ass man, I really saw how men feel. And I said, damn, if I ever nag somebody like that, I will never do that shit again because it's so annoying. It's so annoying.
Don't do that.
I mean, I couldn't agree more with the judge. When women keep a certain attitude with her man or keep complaining and telling him that he is the problem, one day he's gonna be like, why am I putting myself?
Exactly.
He's gonna be like, why am I putting myself in this hell? He can tolerate it for a long time, but when the time comes, he's going to remove himself from the situation.
I know you women don't want to hear for someone like me, but if you're going to deal with someone that's anywhere with 10% and up, we're not even talking about 1%ers. That's not even an option. Don't even bring it up. They're going to slap you stupid. But if you're going to deal with a man that's financially stable and he can literally afford.
Give us a number so they can because I think I'm speaking Chinese when I say you're going to have to.
So look at this. This is a whole room of men and all of these women sitting there telling them they're 10 and they deserve this and they want this rich man and they, all these women out here saying that they want some rich man to take care of them and they're below average, they're on low frequencies or whatever. And this girl is telling them what it is.
Honestly, finding a man that makes $100,000 or more is now becoming rare. It's now literally becoming more of a rare thing. If someone can make six figures, it's becoming a rare thing. But
single
and no kids and attractive and charming, you're asking for a lot.
Yeah.
So if you're dealing with someone that makes $1 million plus per year, we're talking about every 365 days, you will.
This is a lot of the reason why women are not having kids, because they are thinking that they're going to get this real high value person to take care of them and their kids, and it's just not a reality. It's really not a reality. You're going to probably have a regular guy in a regular life with your kids.
Not be the only woman. That is a lie that women tell themselves because we want to feel special.
When a man reach certain place in life and start making 6 to 7 figures a year, he is gonna have a lot of women around him. That's just how society is, and that's how society will treat him. Rich men have options because women fight for these type of men. It is what it is. But when a woman start asking for extra stuff and she wants him to be only with her, that's just being delusional.
Exactly. It really is. And these girls out here, they're waiting for this rich man. You can have a happy life if you really have a good man with you. And then maybe, you guys could start a business, a family business or something like that. You find a man that has the leadership qualities and you probably can build, your home. There's a lot you could do for home. You could run the business, take care of the kids. There's so many ways it could go. But I feel like these women just want somebody to take care of them while they sit around all day and do nothing and get their nails done and, do whatever they think they're going to do with this person's money. It just makes no sense. And as a mother of a son, I would tell him, you better not. You absolutely better not. All right, so let's watch this. I'm trying to get through these really fast because it's time to go. Look at this.
We consider the executive producer. She's a daughter of Diana Ross. And Tracy Ellis Ross has been making these particular comments the last 2 years, starting in 2021, about not being able to find the right man for her, which is interesting. That's why she's like 50, taking pictures, naked on Instagram and things like that. She wanted a.
Now this is very interesting because she is a celebrity. She's very rich, and you would think that somebody like that will find a person, but quite possibly she's probably looking for somebody that's doing better than her or whatever. You know, that's what the other white girl was saying. And the other thing is that these high value people, these rich men that you think out there, is not that many of them out there. And 9 times out of 10, they want some 20-year-old person. They just do.
White picket fence, husband, kids. But she didn't want to sit around waiting for those dreams to come true. In other words, you know, all the success that she has accumulated. Listen to,
and I really feel like very rich guys or successful men, like all of the men be saying, the rich guys, the broke guys, everybody, they don't want a woman that is more, I say, more independent than them. Women don't like to hear that, but that's what men say. They feel that it's not feminine enough when a woman is in that position. Now, a lot of women don't like to hear that, but that is what they say.
that's what I'm saying when we talk about waiting, right? All the years of all of these things she's done in Hollywood, becoming a millionaire, becoming a person in the industry, she sits around and waits for a man to come find her, which is very interesting that women feel that way, because that's something that doesn't happen for women. It happens for men. Men, as you get more power, more influence, it's very attractive, and women pay attention to those things. Even if you're a guy behind the scenes, women know.
When was the last time that he surprised you? Do you love him?
Damn.
Oh,
What do you
mother.
love the most about each other?
Like,
This froze up again. This irritates me so much.
I don't know. We have a lot of kids, so my brain is tired.
Okay. What if you could put how you really felt into a song?
you can do
Every
that.
time I use this now, it freezes
If
up.
you don't know how to tell
I gotta
them how you
probably
really feel, show
reboot
them
this,
with an
y'all.
original
So
song
don't go
through
nowhere. I'll be
Songfish.
right back. I'm just gonna reboot it. It'll be faster than trying to finish this one. Very sorry about that. I think I probably might need to get more new software on my computer because it keeps happening every time. So now I'm starting to really think that it's more an issue with this computer. All right, hold on, y'all. Now I gotta readjust all this crap here. Okay, where were we? Oh, we were on the Tracy Ross thing. I'm gonna go back to that because there was some pretty funny stuff in there. Let me see, where is it? Oh, it's up here already. All right, let me present my screen again. Don't worry, I'm gonna get it together. I'm just starting out, y'all. We're gonna get it. We're gonna surely get it. Let me see, where's that video at? Here we go. Okay. So
Attractive, and women pay attention to those things.
So let me just skip a little bit because I ain't have no idea about this.
Right? That's
hold on. Where is that? Hold on.
Even myself, being as a man in my 40s, after having
all right, no, I'm gonna skip that.
Feminism for why I want to do it. No, I don't want to get married because I just don't feel like it's valuable. Where in her case, you couldn't attract the kind of guy that you wanted to, and now there's a binary narrative of the patriarchy. What is that binary narrative? Okay, because you want to express yourself the way you want, that's fine, but nobody likes it.
So this is the point the guy is making: is that women, in an effort to be feminist, they want to identify how they want to identify and do what they want to do, but the men don't like it. They don't like it, and then thus the reason why you can't find a man or whatever. That's what generally the men say across the board about feminism. As soon as they see it, they figure they'll just sleep with you, or they don't want to date you at all because they don't like it. That's what they say across the board. When I look at all the stuff, they all say it, and it's so much so to the point where men don't even want American women or Western women at all. They're going out of the country to find women. They are very turned off. Like, it's just, I don't know what the future is going to hold.
All right. Nobody likes it. That's the problem thing. All right. You didn't get married because,
I'm sorry, they keep showing her in this dress, and being a person that's been in fashion for like most of my life, that is for A cup breast model. It looks weird.
You couldn't get the guy you wanted because you didn't want to compete for that. And anything worth having, a lot of times, like, again, ladies think about this so much. I'm doing very well in school. I'm doing very well in all of these things. Great. Guys don't care, usually.
You see what I'm saying? Now, all these men say the same thing. They don't care about your education level. They don't care how much money, like girls say, oh, I make this much money. They don't care about any of that. Even guys that make less money than you, they don't care about none of that. They care about a feminine woman, a woman that can have their kids. And, because most men, on one of my other lives, I read a thing about, I did a live about like single parents or something like that. And the reality is that most Black men, more than any race, wants kids. They want kids. They want kids. Maybe they might not be in the capacity to take care of their families the way Black women want them to, but out of all of the races, they are the ones that want kids the most. And of all the races, they were the ones that would be more active in the home. You can look at it. It was either support for single mothers and fathers or something like that. One of the other. You'll see 2 videos in my lives about that. But I was like shocked. I couldn't believe that. As much as they say Black men, don't take care of their kids, they do. They might not marry their baby's mother, but they take care of their kids and they want kids. Men want kids. Women don't want kids because of feminism, but men want kids. That's like in them to like have their what do you call it? Their heirs or their children that carry on for them, or whatever the word I'm looking for, whatever. Men want that. So that's the reason why they go after the men that get a lot of money. They go after these young, fertile women because they want the family. They want the kids. They might not want the woman, but they want the kids.
not a guy that's successful. What does it mean? But what can you do for a man that is beneficial to his everyday life? Who cares about, like, it's nice that you did all of those great things. School, money, that's good. Most guys.
Well, he's saying that this is exactly what I'm saying. The guy is saying, what is the point of all of that? How does that help your man that you went to school, that you did all of this? You know, you might have a family business with your husband, whatever, but what he's looking for is a fertile woman to have his kids. That's what he's wanting. That's what all these men be saying, is that's what they want. And especially a black man, because black men, according to this study and a lot of stuff I read, that they want kids. They want kids.
Guys that you care about, that you want to date, don't even care about that. Don't need that. What do you do for me such that I feel like I want to be exclusive with you? And women don't want to answer that. That's the problem here. That's what we're dealing with.
And that's what they're saying. If as soon as you're telling them that I'm in school, I work, I got my own money, then he's like, well, what do I do? What do I do for you? You have everything. You're telling me you don't need me for anything. What the fuck do I want you for? You know, they probably want to not gonna say needy, but maybe needier woman. You know, maybe they want that. They want to. That's their instinct to protect and provide for a woman. And if you're not somebody that can be protected or provided for, then they don't want that. That's just what the men say. Women be mad and have this whole, but that's what they say.
We're not doing anything else. And so now that you feel like your chance is over to have a baby, now you're questioning your femininity now. I mean, there you go. Now you're blaming everything else. And women have to be, and in this case, she's an adult. Not saying.
Okay, he's gonna go on and on her about this, but it is what it is. It really is some trick. Like I said, like when somebody tells you who they are, believe them. And women need to really listen to what men are saying. You understand? And women need to really get discernment about their, what is important. And one person said it's so good, and I just feel like a lot of women don't consider this. And they were like, women cannot see past 30 years old. Like when they're starting out in their life, they don't see past 30. They don't see, they don't think about what's my life going to be like when I'm 50. What's my life going to be like when I'm 60? What's my life going to be like when I'm 70? What if I live to be 100? Like they don't think about those things. And then you always have the argument of like, well, your kids don't have to take care of you and all this and that. No, they don't. But your husband might do it. You understand what I'm saying? You and your husband could be together and care for each other to a point. You know what I'm saying? And most of the time, your kids do take care of you, because I see it all the time. They might be resentful for taking care of you, but they do. And they make sure that you get in the right place you need to be. If they're not going to take care of you, you know what I'm saying? They going to do something for you, unless, you really was terrible or you have really terrible kids. It is a crapshoot. But at the end of the day, it's like, would you really want to be alone? And this is what the women are saying when they get in their 50s and 60s, that they're lonely. And you probably wouldn't be lonely because you have your grandchildren. If you was bored and lonely, you could always have your grandchildren come over. You could watch your grandkids. Like, women don't think past their youth. And that's the problem. And then when they get there, it's too late. It's too late. All right, let me see. What else do I have on here? Let me just look at this and make sure I don't skip nothing. These are kind of funny. These girls are a trip. Hold on for a second. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. I gotta cue this up just right so you can hear the beginning. These girls be having me dying. So like this, I mean, these young girls now, in most of these videos I see, it's gonna be a messed up world, because these girls do not need to have no kids. They don't need to. And I don't see a man wanting none of these girls. If my son came with a woman like this, I would be like, hell to the no. These girls are a mess.
Tell my mother that even though I'm 20 years old, I've been working since I was 14, and I know I had to work. I've always had to work for the things that I want.
Before feminism, maybe you would have had a baby by that time, or maybe you would have been married. I don't know. But now I feel like women are starting to realize they don't like men shit. Like they might be happy being married. You know, if you have a good husband, it's not a bad thing being married and having kids. And that's what these girls are starting to realize.
I never got anything handed to me, but I'm 20 years old. I don't want to work anymore. I don't want to do that shit. I'm putting deodorant on because I'm sweating because I just walked up the stairs because I don't be doing any type of physical exercise. So like, I just been laying
on a trip right now. Y'all gotta watch these.
For my job because I don't want to go. I don't want to show up. I'm yelling in silence because
this is the general consensus of girls in their 20s.
Break. So that's why I can't tell my mama that I don't want to work. Because you got to get up and go to work, girl. You're 20 years old. You got to go to work. You got to go to school. You got to do.
Now, the difference of these young girls today, they want to be married because they don't want to work. You know, they don't necessarily want to be mothers and take care of kids. They just want somebody to take care of them so they don't have to do shit with their life. These kids are horrifying.
Do everything. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to do that anymore. And everybody I tell, they're like, just go apply for more. Shut up. I don't want to work anymore.
Even though I feel it a little bit because I don't really want to work no more either. But you got to do what you got to do. Look at this girl.
Who the f told y'all to go fight for our rights to work? Then y'all want to tell us how a man's supposed to provide. Shut up. Y'all don't got up on that fucking stand and fought for us. I hate working. Nobody.
But she's so right. The feminist movement is so contradictory because they're saying you're a man, you could do everything a man, you're equal to a man, but then they tell you the man's supposed to provide. Which is it? You supposed to provide for yourself, is the man supposed to do it? Now men done got comfortable in the fact of them not doing it.
They told y'all to do that. Y'all did too much to prove that y'all that girl. It didn't give that. Like it doesn't give that. You see what we doing? It never gave that. It never gave that.
The realization that I just don't want to work anymore. Like it doesn't matter the job.
So this is the funny part. Like now you go from I want to work, I want to do everything a man wants to do, to this generation saying I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to do any work. Like I want to be a housewife. Like it completely changed completely.
I just don't want to work anymore.
Whoever fought for women to get jobs. Why did we do that?
And now it's messed up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like men don't want to take care of women no more. It's like they took them out of their, like women and men are not in their right positions anymore. Like men, they don't want to take care of the women no more. They don't want to take care of the families, the kids and all that. They don't really want to do that anymore. And if they do, they're going to go over the Philippines or somewhere in Asia and get a wife over there and do it there with them.
So tired. I wanted to.
Because these girls, they don't want to work. They don't want to do nothing. They can't cook nothing. Those girls over there, they're more appreciative of a man and what a man will do for them and stuff like that. So that's why a lot of the guys are leaving and not getting girls from over here.
My feet up. Like I am. Oh my God.
Yes, ma'am. You can thank.
So, you know, it is what it is. You know, that they created the monster.
To see the chickens come home to roost.
Can you support my lifestyle, your lifestyle, a family's lifestyle, and give me a better lifestyle than what I can support?
So see, look at all this she asking for. Look at all of this that she's asking for. You know, she's saying, I got this, I got that, I don't need. So she's already letting the man know, I don't need you for nothing. What can you do for me? And I guess he's like, nothing.
But the thing is, and do it on your own salary.
It's a piece of paper. It's bragging rights. It's bragging rights at the end of the day.
How many women has degrees and don't want to work?
Right.
That's the first thing.
So see, so you know, that's just the bottom line of the whole thing. Is like, you know, women go and get all of that education and whatnot, and they don't, you know, they would give it all up to be at home mother or be at home wife. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to do that crap. So we done ran over my shit. It conked out every time I use it. Now I got to figure out what I'm going to do. But in the meantime, the devil's a liar and I'm going to still keep trying to work around it. I'll take my computer in at some point. and see what the problem is. I do, as always, I always would like to show you a little bit of like resource of like how to cope. And I'm looking for that one because now everything then got all discombobulated. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on, hang on for a sister real quick because I want to go over this. I guess I can't find it. So I'll just tell you about it. Oh, here it goes. I found it. Okay, let's look. Okay, present. Okay, this is the last thing. Okay, what to do if you regret not having children. So, these are just a little couple things that you could do to, cope a little bit, and I'm going to just go through this article real fast, but acknowledge your feelings. And what this paragraph was stating was like, to really deal with the way you feel about it. Like, are you just a little bit upset, like about not having kids? Like when you go to baby showers or whatever, you feel away and stuff like that. Or is it really an issue? Like, is it really something that's bothering you? Is it really something that's causing you, is renting a lot of space in your mind? And examine your regrets to see, how serious of an issue it is, because you really might need therapy or something, honey. And embrace your situation, because once you get to a point and you can't have none, you gotta just embrace it so you could take it straight on. And think about the good things. Like I always say, always try to think about what you do have, and try to surround yourself with people that understand, because you don't want to go around people that are going to always be asking you, when are you going to have a baby? That's going to be irritating to you too. So you got to kind of build a network of people that understand what you're going through. And this article is saying, like, you might not be in a bad situation because you're more in control of your time. Most parents, they say their primary circle consists of play dates and mommy and me type groups. And it does, especially when they're little. Like I spend a lot of time, with activities with my son, but I met a lot of other parents and other people with children and stuff like that. So, that is true that, your lifestyle is different when you have kids than your friends that don't have kids. So you might want to find a way to get, with people that are like-minded or in the same situation that you are in. And it's also saying that, embrace it because you have more time on your hands. You can travel and do, whatever you want to do without, having to worry. But I'm a parent. I'll take my son right out of school and don't give a damn. Like one time I took my son out of school, I guess it was like October. School had just started. And they were like, oh, well, you shouldn't do that. They try to act like they're the parent. I said, no, we will be leaving and we'll be going on a vacation. And, I'm taking my son out of school. I knew to do that because when I was going to school, I went to school with a lot of affluent people, and they would do that all the time. The kids be out of school for a week, 2 weeks during school. We would get his school work and we was out. I'll take my son out of school in a minute to enjoy our lives. Life is to be lived. And again, recognizing that you're not alone, that there's other people that have the same situation that you have, and that, there are a lot of things that you could do in spite of that. A lot of people choose to not have children. You could probably talk to those people. They probably could put it in perspective for you why it's not so bad. And then like now, once you deal with all of that, then you can explore your options, because there's a lot of things you could do. Like that paragraph was stating, like, you have the obvious of adoption, surrogacy, and in vitro and all those things. But you could also be a mentor. You could also do tutoring, coach, different things like that. Volunteering, at your church's nursery, things like that. That's what it's saying in here. And the reality is that, it's not a lot you can do once you miss that window, but accept it and make the most out of your life, and again, I feel like, for the people that missed that window, like that, like the white woman earlier in this was saying that she would feel that she wants to tell other girls, what she went through so they don't make that same mistake. That's something that could also be an option, is that you share your story and let people know what you went through and why you don't think it is a good idea, unless you're infertile, or if your infertility came because you waited too late, then share that with people, that so that maybe they don't do that. And like, I'm going to share with you, even though I had my child at 40, I'm exception, really not the rule, but I've been a late bloomer in life for damn near everything. So that it would just make sense for me that would happen like that. And I love being a mother, and I can't think of anything that is better than being a mother than watching your child grow and watching all their little milestones and stuff like that. Now my son teaches me. Now I'm the student, and like, that is the reward of it. And I feel like if you nurture your child and you love into them, 9 times out of 10 they're going to reciprocate. But I feel like parents that regret their kids, they're putting a frequency out into the universe, and I just feel the kid picks up on it and then they treat you bad, and later in life, and that may not necessarily be true all the time, but I just feel that a lot of the times when you see, parents, kids, very troubled kids, something happened there. And a lot of times the parents are delusional, or they don't really want to admit that something happened there. Even if it's something they may not have seen happen, it could also be, stuff, peer pressure with their friends and stuff like that. That's why it really starts very young in programming your child, because if you don't program them the right way, society will. So I'm just going to leave it like that. And, I would definitely tell girls, don't have a baby as a teenager. Don't have a baby straight out of high school. Live your life a little bit for, like 5 years or something like that. Go to school, get your little degree if you want to go to the club, hang out with your friends. Don't be too crazy. Don't be too promiscuous. I saw that can be a whole, problem too, and, then around 25, 30, that's your time to shine. You got 98% of your eggs. You know what I mean? So like, I just, the older women, or the women that, been down this road, whether you liked it or not, tell the girls the truth, the reality of your situation, and we can avoid this. But I'm scared to death for these 20-something year olds, because they are a mess. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think with these kids. Hopefully we can turn it around, because I don't know what these girls are going to do. They don't like the work, and the men don't want them. I don't know what's going to happen. So I don't know. I'll let that be. And like, share, and subscribe to this channel. I'm going to do my best to try to figure out why the stream ends and freezes up and stuff. I find the more places I stream to at one time, it freezes up like that. When I'm just streaming one thing, it freezes up. It doesn't freeze up. I've never had it freeze up. It's just when I'm streaming so many times, so many places, and every time I add Rumble, I don't know if that's why or whatever, but I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. But the devil's a liar. I'm not editing out the gap, whatever. It only is like usually like a 2-minute gap. I will get to the bottom of it. When I get time, I'm going to try to figure out, what's going on. I do probably feel maybe my computer needs an update or whatever, because I haven't done that in a little bit, and hopefully that cures the problem, and if not, we'll keep working on it. In the meantime, you guys have a lovely weekend. Again, like, share, subscribe, comment, watch some of the other videos. I have videos on there from like back in the day and stuff like that are kind of funny to watch, and informative too. That was back when I didn't mind editing. Now I ain't got time for edit. It's this live stream, and it is what it is, and I get off of it and it's done, and I'm not editing it. I don't care what happens. If it cuts off, whatever, I will put it back or to be out. That's it. But anyway, you guys, as always, I enjoy being with you, whoever is with me. I really appreciate you. And please keep liking, sharing, and subscribing. And please let me know any things you want me to talk about. It seems like as a woman, I get a lot of people and just even my own curiosity about things that affect women and families and stuff like that. I'm also very political, but the politics right now is irritating to me. And I know a lot of things, and a lot of times I don't even feel like really talking about it because a lot of people, they just not ready. They're not ready for the reality, of what is coming. And it is a little bit negative and scary sometimes, for some people, if you know me, you know me. And the stuff that I be telling people, So, I try to give everybody a little break, keep it a little balanced, because the world is messed up out here. You know what I'm saying? The world is messed up out here. And the best thing that you could do is to let another life in to this realm and teach it how to survive and teach it how to, maybe make a small imprint on making the world a better place. That's how I feel about a mother, and that's how I feel about rearing children. So I say all that to say, have kids, especially Black people, because we kill our babies the most, and that's the leading cause of death amongst our people. And how can the people carry on if you're aborting all your babies? Planned Parenthood was once the Negro Project, which was completely designed to exterminate Black people, and y'all just falling into a trap. It is nothing wrong with your children, and there's nothing wrong with using your body the way God intended. Okay, I love y'all. I'm out of here. I'm going now. I'm going to bed because it's way past my bedtime. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. See you next time.